Hey everyone, I'm back. I've been having issues. I know the stream was really bad quality and my screen started freezing. I couldn't hit anything, and I think I just totally coughed into the microphone even though I didn't have it on mute. That was my bad. I'm sorry about that. I usually try to be a little bit more polite, but that didn't work out. So apologies if the quality isn't better now. The stream, that's just what it is right now. The internet is also creeping along a little bit, but I'll just leave it the way it is. So I trying to remember where I left off. So and we'll go from there. So the last thing we talked about is San Marino. That is right. So San Marino was not very happy about that situation, and that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. And I'm sure they're not the only delegation who is not happy that it was canceled, that they would have preferred postponing the contest, but that's not how it happened. So this is definitely an awkward situation for the EBU to be put in because you're dealing with 41 different broadcasters and entities. And this is definitely, and I wouldn't want to be in that position because you cannot please 41 broadcasters. And then within the broadcasters, there are different factions as well. So it is a big mess. My nose. So it was really, really, it's a tough situation for everyone to be in. Aya is saying, I cried when you cried in your video yesterday. Thank you for giving us an outlet for your feelings. I don't know if I cried. Did I cry? I probably looked like I was crying because I was sick AF. I was so miserable yesterday. Waking up sick and then talking about it. I'm like, oh my God. It was bad. I still feel kind of meh today. But, you just kind of get better every little day. So, and Adrian is making good points. I think about the money and profit involved in Eurovision. What will the Dutch broadcasters feel about sinking in so much money? How about the sponsors as well? I thought about this as well. Sponsorship, all of that stuff is happening. This will have an impact, a financial impact on everyone. But keep in mind, Eurovision is not the world. Everyone else, other events that are planned to go ahead, start already planning and putting money into it, and they had to be canceled. It'll have a financial impact. Absolutely. But it's a kind of risk that comes with the job, I guess, a little. So it does suck. And keep in mind, speaking of that, I'm going to take a financial hit as well, myself. I was able to get one flight refunded because it was canceled. My flight to Europe was canceled. Therefore, I was able to request a refund. But my other flight is not until like late May. And that one has not been canceled. So I cannot. And at this point, it's not considered in the time frame zone where it's safe to or not safe to fly. So late May, maybe all these restrictions have been lifted and I'm stuck with that flight because it's a non-refundable flight. And the same goes with my hotels and my train rides. So I spend over $1,000 that I will most likely never ever see coming back. Usually I try to make up that money while I'm at Eurovision, but I don't have that income now, and that puts me in a bad position. It all happens. It's part of it, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. And now I have to plan ahead for 2021, how I can make up the difference for that. So I'm also struggling, and that is just part of it. It sucks. It really, really sucks. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, but it sucks. So, we waited, and if you checked the website, every artist has made statements about the cancellation, how they feel. Everyone was very supportive of why it happened. A lot of the acts, of course, are saying, please, especially like Victoria from Bulgaria was very clear, like, please pick all of us again in 2021. Everyone who has submitted a song for 2021 should be able to perform as well at that point. And I totally agree with that and hope that this is going to happen. But it's all just such a big question mark right now. We've never been. It's unprecedented, the situation that we're in. So no one has answers because no one has ever gone through it. So we need to all be a little bit more patient. EOC Gaming and More says, what I hope they do is exactly what it's supposed to be this year. All the same artists would represent the country with the same song, and the show plan would be as intended. That would be my best case scenario as well. And then if other countries want to join in, like Hungary, Montenegro want to return, let them in as well. But I know I mean, I don't know officially, but I know that's not how going to happen. The EBU will let each broadcaster decide whether to send the same song/artist or pick someone else. And Sweden and Estonia have already said we want to not pick someone else, but we want to do our national finals again, and the winner should go. And it's unfortunate for Yuko Suviste and the Mamas, but it is what it is. And I would expect a lot of other countries to do the same. And but how many? I don't know. And as pointed out, a lot of countries could potentially withdraw. So we have to wait and see how that's going to happen. So, and keep asking questions at ESC United. If I don't see them right away, of course, and post them again like 2-3 minutes later. Can you please explain, that's from you, Jonathan Cohen, in more details, how will your website Eurovision Song Contest going to be? Will there be broadcast of the songs, just a forum event, or something else? That's all to be determined as of this point, as far as what ESC United is going to do. The team has already hunkered down to see what's going on. I'm a little bit out of the loop for the past 24 hours because I'm sick. I'm resting a lot, and I do have a job. So it is, quite hectic right now, but be sure that we are thinking about things, what we can do, to keep you entertained throughout this time. But, online contests are not for everyone, and there's certain things that work for some, but not for others. So we really have to evaluate and maybe do collaborations with other outlets. I've got a bunch of emails already, haven't had time to respond, so I'll need to look at them tonight. But I'm sure there will be stuff as far as what it is to be determined. It's a little early to give you a concrete answer there. VR says, I think that it would be unfair to compete with the same songs. Some of them might become huge hits. I prefer fresh and new songs for returning artists. VR saying, it's fair. It's a fair thing to say, but at the same time, it's also unfair for the artists to put forward that song specifically for Eurovision. Like, you can always talk about Russia's song, Little Big, that Uno could become a super big smash hit all over. But they also don't get the exposure to become a big smash hit. Do you know what I mean? So it's also has like the pros and the cons that kind of tilt that scale in a certain way. So I wish I would have I understand both sides, and it sucks to be in that place for someone to have to make that decision. And because ultimately we would break in 2021 the EBU rule saying the song cannot be released before September 1st of that year, right? But we live in unique times, and I think exceptions and changes are appropriate since this contest has been canceled. So yeah. So Liam Allen Lindsay is saying, with this gap to 2021, this could allude to more countries competing next year, like those who withdrawn this year and those who haven't competed for a while, like Morocco and Monaco. I don't know if this particular situation will invite more countries to take part. I don't see now Morocco, who only took part once in 1980, be like, oh wow, now after all of this, we're in. I don't see the logic in that. Same for Monaco. Like, no, we don't think that small countries can win the contest. But now we do. Like, I don't see necessarily, like, the connection there. I'm actually more worried that a lot of countries would rather sit out for another year. That would be my concern. We're going to have, like, a smaller version of the contest. But I'm also getting ahead of myself, or we all are. We don't know, but I just don't see this will be, like, appealing for non-participating countries or, like, a encouragement for them to join us. It's the wrong theme, but you get my point. Okay, so next question. Stefanos Dem says, I believe the Netherlands didn't want the alternative way cause that would mean they wouldn't host it the proper way. I don't think it was up to the Netherlands, because there was an interview that Sietse Bakker and what's her name, the NPO boss Shula Rijksman, they were actually informed, saying, hey, from by the EBU, like, it's not going to happen. Sorry. So it wasn't really in their hands. I think that, of course, I would have preferred to host it, but ultimately it wasn't their decision to make. Because, the EBU is in charge of the contest. They just happen to be the host. Next question. I need Répondez-moi at 2021, Ben Jeffrey is saying. Oh, man. See, I haven't even really grasped the whole concept of all these songs most likely or potentially not being in next year's contest and never having a fair shot at the contest. I'm always trying also to look at it this way. The music never goes away. Yes, it may not be at the contest, but you will always be able to listen to the song going forward. So it really comes down to if the EBU will allow these old songs, that will be old songs by the time 2021 comes around, to be allowed to take part. Because I would think countries who are really doing well in the betting odds or in the fan polls, like Bulgaria, Switzerland, Lithuania, Iceland, I would think they would prefer to keep their songs in the running, right? Because they're popular. But whether or not they can do it, the EBU can be saying, sorry, got to start over. That would suck. And that I could see countries protesting it. I'm like, this is not fair. This is not fair. But then again, that's life. Life's not fair, I guess. Okay. Will the semi-draws and the theme be the same? Jeffrey is saying, I can see this. Man, I would think that they would start over with things because people will always have that, excuse me, that association. Like when you think of Open Up, you think of that bad 2020 where everything went down, when literally the opposite happened from, Open Up, we closed down. And I would think that they would try something different. But that is just me guessing. I don't know. They may just keep everything in place, but my guess would be they want to kind of redo everything, just clean slate and start over. That would be my guessing. It would be devastating not to see Azerbaijan staging for Cleopatra. Isn't that right, Dalila? And again, I didn't go through every single song yet to think it through as far as like, oh, we're not going to get to see this. We don't get to hear that. Because there are 41 songs, and I called it before in some of my reaction videos, like one of the stronger years, in my view. So many good songs. And yeah, we don't get to see that. Or most likely, we won't get to see that. It is just, see, we don't even know. This is the weirdest situation we've ever been in. So it sucks. Okay, so let's answer more questions. Harvey Sapigao is saying, do you think the budget for this year's Eurovision will be added to next year's for a better show, or maybe a longer one? Well, I would think the budget will definitely be applied, but I don't think they're going to spend even more money, because just losing, they lost already a good amount of money, right? We all know that. There was a lot of money put forward already. Fortunately, not as much as it could have been if they would have canceled even closer to the date. They haven't built the stage yet, all that equipment, but there's still costs associated with it. So they will have to actually I don't even know. This is such a weird thing. Like, what, I don't know how much they've paid, but at least they would have to take into consideration what they've already paid and then apply that to the current budget. Oh gosh, I don't want to be in their position right now. This is such, I don't even know. This is such, it makes your head spin, right? I'm just like, weird. Okay, so let's see. Gucci again. On a positive note, I wanted Slovenia to qualify, but I knew it won't happen, so no, I won't have to witness it. You don't know that. We haven't listened to the revamped version yet. I think it's too early to make that kind of call. I think she would have had a good shot. I know I'm in the minority, but we had to wait for the revised version. But we will never know. That is true. We will never know. It just sucks for every single artist. I gotta drink something again here real quick. Now, I did also see that, but we have no information on the details yet, that the broadcaster in Germany may have some kind of option, an alternative option they want to share with us more at a later point. Like a Europe-wide offer to have like a replacement show, because keep in mind, there's a lot of airtime available now, like 7 hours or so, that they already had put in place for those contests. So maybe Germany, one of the biggest countries in broadcasters in Europe, may take a lead, which would be a great opportunity and alternative. There could be something, but what that means, I'm sure it's not going to be like a Eurovision version, but something else. It would be cool, in my view. But again, we do not know a whole lot. And it's been a little bit more over than 24 hours since the contest has been canceled. And oh gosh, I even hate saying that. Every time I say it, I just get like, the ickies. So there, we have to wait a few more days, weeks, as more information will trickle in. I must say, I started preparing myself for that impact of contest is canceled. The more we saw and the more we heard, but when it happened, it still hit me like a freight train. It was just like, oh, like I knew it could happen, yet I still didn't mentally prepare for it as much as I should have. Maybe it was really upsetting, and I'm not going into the whole. Of course we know it's for the right reasons and all of that stuff. Doesn't take away that it's tough. It's tough anyway. Anyway, let's answer a few more questions at ESC United in the chat, please. Uwe Flutter is saying, hi from Germany. Hello. Do you think the EBU will at least release the final versions of this year's songs as an official download on CD or not? That's also to be determined. They're currently in discussion with Universal Music, who is in charge of the CDs, regarding of the sale, if it's going to happen or not. So this has not been decided. I said earlier, please at least do that. That's the least you can do, right? I mean, we're not asking for much. Just give us at least the music. Give the artist that exposure. I'm sure they're not going to make much money of it, but at least puts their name out there. So I'm hoping that this is going to happen. Okay. Next question. ESC Veggie. Do you think that the EBU will let Kazakhstan participate in 2021? I don't know, ESC Veggie. I think that this is low on their priority list right now after what happened in 2020. I think what they're trying to do is make sure that 2021 goes as smoothly as humanly possible, and that also not more countries withdraw out of protest or whatever, depending on what decisions they're making. So I don't know, but I would think common sense applying that this is not going to be on their high up on their bucket list. Okay. Anton Cheng is saying, has Jan Olasan stepped down, or does he get to go for another year? Hi from China. He hasn't stepped down just yet. I think he will do that in a few months. Because he was supposed to step down after Eurovision, so in May. So I would give him like 2 or 3 more months, then he'll step down. I doubt that he will stay for another year. It would surprise me because he already has accepted another job offer. So it's unfortunate that how his last year turned out. He probably was hoping for a little bit more of a memorable and bigger ending. But again, that is my least concern, that he doesn't get his last final Eurovision in, when all these artists who are the real stars should be the one that get all the attention. Nora Pelamo is saying, what about next year? That would be ideal. What do you think about having 2 semis, where one semi would consist of this year's songs and 2 semis out of 20 to 21 songs? I don't think that they're going to go crazy with new different ideas, old songs versus new songs. They'll just go plain old allocation like they've always done. I think, this is my guess at least, I have a feeling, don't quote me on this, that they will allow each broadcaster to either send the old song that they already have chosen, or if they choose to send a new one, they can do that as well. That would be my guess, and probably the closest to most fair, I guess, because you cannot dictate what the broadcaster can do with their song submission. I think that is a likely outcome, but I don't see them just putting old versus new songs in different categories. Because keep in mind, even us here as diehard Eurovision fans, we know all the songs, but 99% of people have not listened to any of the songs. So it is what it is. But yeah, you can make a case that some of them will have more exposure now for a year. But again, these are unique times, and you cannot apply the standard rules when these are not normal times. Okay. Yokase is asking, will you and your team do the live streams in the Eurovision week, since you already have vacation anyway? Forgive me. Don't make me laugh. See what you're doing? So rude. No, seriously. I'm sure we're doing some live streams, but what are we going to talk about? Yes, we can do I would have to sit down and think about a few things that we can do. We could do a ESC United song contest where only the members of ESC United get to vote and all of that stuff. I don't know. There's so many options. We will entertain you throughout the season somewhere, somehow. But there's so many, like, what the F are we going to do right now? Like, these are unique times. I keep saying that. I sound like a broken record, but it is so true. It is so true. Okay. Next question. Do you think they will do another allocation draw for the semi? I think someone asked it earlier. I would think so. I'm pretty sure they will. That would be my guess. Because we didn't get a proper running order anyway yet, so I don't think it would be a big deal. So that's probably not high on their concern list. So, yeah. Okay, next question. Jenny ESC. What if the coronavirus doesn't go away soon? I'm afraid there won't be a Eurovision next year either. Now, you are right in saying that some points are being made that the coronavirus could stick around for 12, 18 months, something like that. Now, keep in mind that I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm a realist. I would never call myself a pessimist or optimist. I'm very much on the realistic side. And just looking at it realistically, I don't think that gathering of people will be forbidden or like prevented in a year from now. I just don't see it happening. Some people saying that when you look at the statements from like the scientists I saw earlier on CNN, I didn't watch much, but that they believe that because they're doing already trial runs for the vaccine for COVID-19, that it could actually potentially come out in a year. That already would be enough for Eurovision to be safe. Know what I mean? So I would not go as far as worrying about next year's contest. That is why I'm also saying, though, that when talking about postponing the contest, how far? Because we don't know how long we're going to be in this situation. So the EBU is, okay, let's do it in October. What if the situation hasn't changed in October? Gosh, I don't want to be stuck here for so many months. But you get my point. So that's what I'm saying. So next question, C Freeze, are you thinking about creating more reactions of each country song? I love watching them. I've done most of them and those that I could do. There are a few that I didn't have a separate video for because number one, Norway I saw during one of the semifinals, so I didn't have a reaction video for that. I could pretend, but I'm not going to do a pretend reaction video if I see already in the semifinal. Doing a separate one because I've known it. The thing, and then for another one the sound didn't work, so it stuff like that happens. But for the most part I've done reaction videos, unless you're referring to like the older years. I've done anything for a long time. I don't think anyone cares about me reacting to Ireland 1967. Right? No one's, some diehard fans, but for the most part it would be, no one, like whatevs. I had a few more things I wanted to talk about, but so many questions are coming in, so I'll just answering some of those. Jeffrey is saying, should Melfest 2021 be like a Adele this year? The winner wouldn't go to Eurovision, that mamas deserve their spot. That is what I said actually earlier as well. I feel as it would only be fair that because at least the acts know up front, hey, if you want to take part in Melody Festival in 2021, sure. However, keep in mind that you will only be able to do Melody Festival, and winning Melody Festival next year does not give you the right to host. That would be the most fair thing for me. So that way everyone knows up front and they can make a decision. So a lot of the acts don't even do it per se for Eurovision, especially the Swedish-oriented one. So that would be my suggestion. But we all know that this is not what Christian Björkman is going to do. Hopefully that answers your question. If virus disappears in April, what do you think will happen to Eurovision? What do you think? Well, the virus will not disappear by April. Right? Let's not fool ourselves here. That's not going to happen. But even if it were, at this point, it's too late. Right? If they cannot uncancel it at this point. I mean, technically, maybe they could, but keep in mind, people already made other plans. The moment they announced that, things fell apart. You can't just announcing we're going to cancel something and then a few weeks later saying, okay, it's still on, because the stage building starts soon. You cannot just say at some point, okay, let's just do it anyway. Eurovision is such a big event. You need proper notice. You need to. So It's not going to happen. As much as I would love to believe that. Again, there comes the realist out in me. It's not going to happen. Absolutely. So, Milina is saying, what do you think about the idea of doing a concert with this year's artists, not to compete, but just to perform their songs? I assume you mean like later in the year? Because right now there will be no concerts. We cannot really gather anywhere for any major audience present. So it could only be either like an online thing or later in the year when it's safe again to get out. I'm making an assumption here right now. So I wouldn't mind it, although I don't necessarily think it's going to really be as appealing and helpful for the artists. Because there are two things. Number one, they want to represent their country and get them a good result. And number two, they want to also do self-promotion. Just a standard concert, yes, probably nice, may help. But unless it's broadcast all over the continent, it's going to be less appealing. So it's not really a proper replacement. Yes, it would be great for us diehard fans, right? We would be thrilled. But I think it's more than just us. Unfortunately, I prefer just us. Ahmed is saying, do you think Turkey ever returns in 2021? Ever? Yes. 2021? No. I don't see Turkey returning anytime soon. Will they return? I'm sure they will. But we got to be a little bit more patient. That is my, forgive me, prediction. All right. So, and Anton has a good question. I miss your whole squad, Sean, Zach, David, and Billy the Fire Extinguisher. Will they possibly join you in live streams in the future? Good job every year. They were supposed to join me already, but I've been having technical difficulties bringing other cameras in. And I was so busy with work and doing all the reaction videos. And once I've done with the reaction videos, the whole COVID-19 thing happened. So it is just strange times, strange timings. But the answer is yes. I will definitely want to bring him on. We just have to think about how, when, because, again, is there enough interest? You have to wait and see. How about Junior Eurovision? Is there a possibility that it'll get cancelled too? Harvey is saying, Junior Eurovision is not until November, I believe, right? So it's unclear as of right now. I'd like to think by then we at least have this whole situation a little bit more under control. Right now, things will get worse, right? I mean, when I say get worse, is there will be more and more cases coming out right now before it drops down. You just want to manage that curve that they're talking about, right? So by then, I hope we are at a point where it's manageable. But we gotta wait. These are unique times. But I'm hesitant to make a prediction here right now, but my gut's telling me no, I don't think it's going to get cancelled. But again, ask me again in a few months. Alexander Pagels is saying, don't you think that it's the same songs for 21 and we will have grown tired of the songs by May 2021? Alexander, again, you look at you as the diehard Eurovision fans. You may have gotten tired of it, that is true, but the 99% of the people who have not really paid attention to the song, they may not share that. So yes, a small percentage, we may be over it, but majority won't care. And that's what ultimately comes down to. They're not just catering us to the diehard fans, because we're going to watch it regardless, right? I mean, you will watch it anyway. Okay, if the Netherlands couldn't host it, who would be the best interim host nation from your perspective, Liam, Alan, Lindsay? If the Netherlands, well, I'm always in favor of going down the list, since the Netherlands would decline, then it would go to the second place of that year, which would be Italy. But now with Italy, they're like being really hit by COVID-19. I don't think they would want to host it next year anyway. Then it should go down to the third place, would be Russia. It's just like that kind of thing. So, but I know that the EBU may not look at it that way. So I think if, let's say, Netherlands says, you know what, we can't do it right now again. We can't host it in 2021 for whatever reasons. One of the big five would step in, whether it's Germany, the BBC, UK, Spain. One of them would get it. I'm pretty sure about that. That is realistically for me the most likely outcome. But let me know if you disagree. Okay, we do a few more minutes. Before I answer more questions, I just wanted to talk about all of the things that are happening right now. We don't get many news in from a Eurovision perspective, except for cancellation updates, 2021 updates, and it'll be very slow over the next few days and weeks. Probably it'll be just little pieces here and there, but it'll be the slowest months as far as Eurovision data, information, updates are concerned. And it sucks because this is supposed to be the busy, fun season. And some people were asking, are you still going to do like an expert panel? I don't know yet. We have to wait and see. Probably in the next few days, we're going to make some decisions on how to proceed. Because is there an interest? Because people usually drop off as well once Eurovision is over. Now that Eurovision is technically over now, I expect a lot of people just to drop off. That would be my thinking. Sweden is the best host. Jonas Anderberg is saying Sweden is fantastic at hosting, but I think they would give it to someone else because, the Big Five have the most money, and Sweden just recently hosted it. Simon is saying, do you have any plans to do live streams with Sean and the other team members? It would be interesting to hear their perspectives and what they don't like this year. That's all to be determined. I haven't talked to them in detail yet about potential videos and reviews and all of that. We have to wait and see what's happening within the community and if there's enough interest, because it takes a lot of work and effort, and people are still demoralized, a little upset, and I want to give everyone at least a few days to just rejuvenate themselves and just get back into grooves. Because right now we're all just kind of like, this sucks, right? It takes us a few days, and I want to get healthy as well. I'm going to take it slow this weekend just to get some rest in, because I need it. Okay. So there were already rumors about Germany hosting next year yesterday. For some reason, now there's German broadcasters supposed to announce something tomorrow. Interesting. Yes, but keep in mind, what it's about Germany is not about hosting next year. It's about some kind of replacement for the Eurovision Song Contest 2020. What that entails, I don't know. But I'm thrilled to hear that the German broadcaster is actively really fighting for this, to fill that gap. And as much as I criticize them with the way they select songs in the past and what they've done, I give them a round of applause today for really taking the initiative and charge here to keep something in place. Whether or not it's going to be good or not, it seems as they're trying, and trying is so important to me. There are no quitters, right? We never quit. Quitters never prosper. Okay, so Ranovich is saying, hi, Matt, how was Tel Aviv? Why not going back there again? Well, Tel Aviv was great, but I would think that the EBU would give it to someone else. I love being in Tel Aviv. It was a unique, fun experience, and I wouldn't mind Israel winning again. But I don't think the EBU would give it to them right away. They would give it to another country first, especially the country that has, the financial means and can put together something fairly quickly. And as much as I love being Tel Aviv, it was a pain getting everything together in Tel Aviv, as far as getting the laws, and, because of all the Shabbat thing was very difficult to get in line with Eurovision, and getting the financials done was not an easy task either, working with the government and the broadcaster. It wasn't an easy Eurovision to put together. It came out to be a fantastic outcome, but the prep was tough. So I don't think that they would just give it to them knowing what happened then. Okay, Germany, my most played song this year. Germany is your most played song this year, yours. I haven't delved into the music right now, but I don't have a most played song yet. I know that I listen to Bulgaria a lot. I listen to Netherlands a lot lately. The Netherlands just gets better and better the more I listen to it. I loved it from the beginning, but it's even, I'm connecting with it even more than before. It is just such a pearl. I still get angry at the ending that is too abrupt. Ugh. But other than that, it's a fantastic song. What else do I listen? I can't stop listening to Estonia. I don't know what it is. I love that song. And there are a bunch of them. Russia should host since they have the most views on YouTube. Royal Pilot. I don't think that really. YouTube is definitely a fair measure to, as far as success is concerned. Keep in mind that Little Big is the most known act out there, and Russia has the most people in Europe. So of course, they'll always have more views than most other countries. So I don't necessarily think that should be what really decides who hosts the contest, but I don't know. I just want the Netherlands to host it. It's just the most fair thing to do, right? Did you have a semifinal running order prediction? I did the first semifinal. I've done the second as well, but I never posted it. But I have to remember what I did. I think I said Sweden would be the opener, Slovenia would be the second song, and then North Macedonia the third of the night. That is what I predicted at that point. But I'm not 100% sure of the rest. I would have to look that up. So, it is a crazy time here. Matt, how are you doing in Los Angeles? Can you go outside on the streets? Can you go to the cinema? So, most counties here in California are now basically shut down. It's basically a curfew, if you want to say. You're not allowed to leave unless you're going to a grocery store, to the pharmacy, and pick up, to help the elderly, just like you're on your way to go somewhere to do something productive, if you will. And other than that, you're supposed to stay home. My county, as of right now, the last time I checked this morning, Los Angeles County, we're still free to walk around if we wanted to, but I expect that to change as well. You can still leave. You can still go to the grocery store. You can run the needed errands that you need to do, but then they say stay home. Other than that, don't just go for a walk around the block or something like that. So that is where we're at right now. Because the problem is we don't have enough tests. In case you're hearing, I am struggling with a cold, and I think it's a cold. So I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. We talked, and I said, hey, I have all these symptoms and all that stuff, and I think I only have a common cold. But I don't know. All these symptoms are in line. And they're like, yeah, just treat it as if you have it. And I'm like, that's not very comforting to hear. Like, yeah, but we don't have enough tests. I'm like, oh, well, that is unfortunate, to say the least. So I am not able to get tested. And the media actually contacted me yesterday to talk about that, because all these celebrities, they get to get tested because they have kaching money. And someone like me, even though I probably only have a cold, would still like to know. Right? Is that too much to ask for? It's so stupid. So, I'm ranting, but I'm allowed. Okay, so let's ask a couple more questions here. Rafe Murray is saying, what is the future for your channel for the next few months? The question is, we'll continue to provide Eurovision content all throughout the year. We've done that all throughout the year anyway. That will not change. Now, as far as the focus is concerned, we'll have to discuss this. We want to keep everyone entertained and up to speed. The Eurovision community is yearning for something. We just have to sit down. But long answer short, we'll be around. We're always around all year long. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Julia is saying, in France, we cannot even leave our houses without a pass. If we are in the streets without it, we get €135 fine. Oh my God, that's crazy. Now that we don't have, and I think that'll ever happen here. Americans would not play along with that. And you don't have the capacity to enforce that kind of stuff. No, how are you supposed to get groceries? Oh, you need a pass. How do you get that pass? Have to go somewhere to pick up the pass? Or you get it on your phone? That is so weird. I mean, you have to go to grocery stores, right? You have to go to the pharmacy. You have to drive over to your elderly grandmother to help her out. That's so... I don't know how that alone to me is just like, I don't know how that works. I don't want to know. Oh, maybe I do. I don't know. But that is crazy, yes. So that is where we're at right now. I know that no one is very happy with the current situation, myself included. And it sucks. It really sucks. As pointed out, I'm losing so much money and I have to figure out how to recover these costs. In some ways, I'm like hoping maybe they extend the window and that into May so that all websites and third-party vendors and the Deutsche Bahn, that they will have to refund me because I cannot go. I cannot go. Even my flights have been canceled, and I have already train trips planned, right? I bought them early on to get a good deal, and now I can't get them back. It really sucks. So, and I have to figure out how I'm going to pay for next year. So, anyway, I don't even want to think about that. It makes my head spin. It's going to explode. So, how do you think Russia, Iceland, and Lithuania would do with the juries? Well, we'll never know. But I've said that both of them would overperform with the televoters and probably underperform with the juries. That would be my personal guess. But again, I guess we'll never find out. Or most likely, at least. I don't know. In most European countries, you cannot leave the house except for necessary errands and work. Well, that's a similar situation going to be here as well. You're not supposed to do that unless you have to go to work, run your necessary errands. It's a kind of same situation. I actually, and it sucked. I had to leave the house for 5 minutes yesterday, even though I'm not supposed to, just to go down to the mailbox and pick up my prescription. They threw it in there. I'm like, I'm going to have to go down and get it. So I just mumped myself up with stuff, had gloves on, a scarf around my face, a hat. I was just like I was going somewhere in Antarctica. I just like buffed in, grabbed it, and went back upstairs. But until then, now I'm going to be locked in here until further notice. Even if 2021 probably will be able to go on, maybe if the virus is still around, maybe the national selections next year will have a difficult time. Maybe I will definitely have to wait and see how they are going to do that. And see, I'm like not even ready mentally to even think that far ahead. I'm just trying to make it through day by day here. It was crazy. In Sweden, we are allowed to do exactly what we want, and the schools are even still open. The government recommend people over 70s to stay home. I'm surprised to hear that, Jonas. I thought that Sweden would be one of those extra precautious countries. They're just notorious for that. Here, I mean, how many cases do you have? That is surprising to hear. I know that some states here are less strict. We have schools open in some states as well, but usually the southern, very conservative right-wing states like maybe Kansas or Oklahoma, right? Those states, they're not quite as up to speed, to say the least. So I just wanted to have a quick chat with you all. I know it was not as the most informative setup this time around, but it's really just for us to connect a little and support each other throughout these very difficult times. As said, there will be plenty of content coming forward, so don't worry about that. We just have to figure out how to do it, what to do, and how to go from there. It's like we're still processing it. Oh, look who's visiting me here. Say hi, princess. Say hi. She's happy. She's purring, but she's not talking. She's just very, very, very chatty. Where was I? Oh, yes. So the point is that it's still hard to process everything that is going on right now. I'm working on that. I think we all working on that. So right now, I'm just focusing on getting better, getting healthy, and then in a couple of days, I can get working on the rest. Hang on a second. On my projects for the 2020 season that is no longer a thing. So it is so weird. It's like, I'm totally out of my element. But I think we all are. We just need to really take our time and just support each other. And that's what we're doing here. So, other than that, I think that's it for today. Unless you have any other questions, I know that I could talk for 3 hours about this. We have to wait and see. Don't go anywhere. You hear me? I mean, you can go somewhere now when I'm done recording, but don't just leave the World Wide Web of Eurovision, because there will be plenty of content. We just need to gather ourselves and pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, as they say, and then just hopefully, who knows, maybe Germany will put forward something that is worthwhile, and my hopes are up. Because I need to stay positive. We all need to stay positive. It sucks being blocked in here. I get cabin fever every 5 minutes. So yeah, thank you everyone for just sharing this hour with me. I didn't want to just cancel the live streams, and we'll do more of that over the next few weeks. I'm not sure if I can do one this weekend. See how I feel, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you later, and have a good day. Bye. Yay.